Nation, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Want to talk real quick about this Jamal Adams. A lot of people will say to themselves, man, if we get this guy on the team, man, this team going straight to the Super Bowl. Don't even have to play the regular season. Just go straight to the Super Bowl. Skip the playoff and everything. I don't want nothing given to us. I want us to earn every situation. I want us to earn every fumble, every sack, every INT. Now, granted, Jamal is a dynamic player, explosive, got range, plays and live around the box a little bit more than it relates to out in space. Nevertheless, I think that the Jets want too much money. Let me repeat, the Jets want too much money. A first and a third is just too rich. And although they came out and said, nah, we're trying to covet our player, we want to keep our player, but the actions is not speaking of what their words are. And we understand that action speaks louder than words. Let me repeat, action speaks louder than words. If you really wanted Jamal Adams, you would go ahead and sign him. Nevertheless, for a long-term deal. But nevertheless, here's the situation. Cowboys, we fell into the trap many of years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. In order for us to win, we have to have the best of the best player out there. And I understand the notion. I understand the thought track of that, because here's why. When you have a coach that don't elevate, he looks for talent. He try to have talent around him so that teams can figure out and say, man, it's impossible for me to beat this, and the talent level can overcome the warts. Now that we got a real coach, and not just Coach Mike McCarthy, we got real coaches throughout that team, is that coaches look at players like this. It's up to them to elevate the player so that they can fit into the system, so they can pick up the philosophy of what the coach is trying to say, or the coaches are putting out there for them to develop as it relates to knowledge level, playing level, experience level out there on the field. Remember this, players should be replicates of the coach, whether it be mentality or style of play. Jimmy Johnson, he wasn't a big 6'5" guy. He's short, small in stature, but his mentality was like, I'm going to beat the hell out of you, regardless of what the situation in the scenario is, and I'm coming at you. I'm never going to fold, and I'm keep continuing to come at you. Bill Belichick, a wise guy, not a very loud, boisterous guy, but he always going to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. Tuna, Big Bill Parcells. He was a guy, hard-nosed, didn't give a F about a lot of things, but that's the way his team played. My goodness. The coach over there in Seattle land, his name is Pete Carroll, I believe. Yeah, Pete Carroll. His philosophy, I'm going to make sure that we compete in every drill. Nevertheless, I want people to be comfortable. I want people to be relaxed. I identify with my particular players as it relates to whatever thing that's going on and off the field. That is how he relates. So coaches plays a major role. Now, this laissez-faire type of situation with Jason Garrett for many of years, people fail to realize that Tony Romo was edgy. He was more so of the Bill Parcells cut or the Sean Payton cut, dare I say. Jason Garrett was a guy that played everything safe and close to the vest. Let me repeat, he played everything safe and close to the vest, meaning that, hey, instead of going for the kill, for the touchdown, let's kick the field goal. The field goal kicker can give us a better opportunity to at least tie it up, and so we can go into overtime, and maybe we can figure out what we can do from there. 4th and 1, we've been running, averaging 5.9 yards a carry or 8 yards a carry. Let's just kick the field goal. Oh, when he went to start going for it in the latter part of his coaching career, it was pressure, it was force. It wasn't really his psyche, it wasn't really his mental complex. It just seems like it didn't get out right. It was forced, not by his hand, but by somebody else. And I'm not going to point those fingers. Nevertheless, it's just like love. When you have to force it, it's you know what. Is you know what. I already know. So I just want people to understand Jamal Adams is good. If a couple of weeks from now the Cowboys sign Jamal, I'll be one of the happiest, go luckiest Cowboys fan out there. Nevertheless, the reality of it is that it's too high of a price tag. I think that Donovan Wilson, he got something to prove. He got to say to himself, give me some of that work action. Even though he plays better at free, I think Clinton Dix, he got something to prove. These guys are not on long contracts. Worleys of the worlds, he got something to prove. J. Lou, Jordan Hip Pocket, he's on a contract year. He got something to prove. Cheeto Awuzie got something to prove. Diggs, yes, he's going to be a rookie out there, but at the cornerback land, he got something to prove. He want to, propel his legacy. He want to prove to the world that, hey, I'm better than my brother who plays on the opposite side. He's a wide receiver. I'm going to make my name, my mark out here. Give these young bulls, as my dog Skywalker still would say, give these young bulls a chance. These Johns out here. Nevertheless, the other news about giving up a Michael Gallup for Jamal, please stop it. Please stop it. And also, don't sully and denigrate the third-round draft pick. Let me know if I'm wrong, because I know facts make my beard grow, make my teeth white. Was Tony Pollard a third-round draft pick? Was Michael Gallup a third-round draft pick? Let me know. Help me out, because I could be wrong. I'm not always right, but I could be wrong on those factors. Look, I know that it's always sexy going after a person that got all of the attributes that you think they can help benefit this team. That's the old mindset. These particular coaches on this particular team, not just one, but the coaches. I think that Al Harris is a great acquisition for the nation. Maurice Linguist is a great acquisition for the nation. Edwards, the linebacker coach, who will have his philosophy and his fingerprints all over this defense and other factors, I think that was a steal for us to pick him up, all he'd been doing was being the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, and we got him as an assistant, or we got him as basically a linebackers coach. The value in that is silly. Oh my goodness, the Mike Nolans, the Tom Sula, all of those boys. Y'all know I love defense. I flat out love defense, and I think that this particular team is different in so many factors. I think that the way we are constructed, it's just going to be just lights out nasty for anybody. The opposing team, the opposition is going to say to themselves, how this is allowed for the Dallas Cowboys to get all of this stuff? It's going to be medieval. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me talk about a little respect. I love when the Four Ladder Network or any of these little networks out here, the NFL and all of those websites, start to look at it and say, man, dang, we got our backs against the wall. Let's start putting a little respect on the Dallas Cowboys. They came out with a list of top 5 trios in the NFL. It's on my Instagram page, LAWS Nation. Check that out on Instagram. Dallas Cowboys are number 1 on everybody's list. Oh, but I thought Dak Prescott was trash. Oh, I thought Amari Cooper was trash. I thought Ezekiel Elliott was fat. I love it. Look, some people look for validation. And I say all the time, validation is only good for parking. And that's good. That's a good philosophy to go by. Also, I say this too. I don't go around looking for respect as Law Nation. I don't look for it. But I do say this. You don't have to just all of a sudden say, okay, law, I respect your law, I respect your law. But just don't be disrespectful. That goes a longer way than sullying and denigrating the nation. You know what I mean? So I love the fact that this Dallas Cowboys team, people are finally realizing and understanding, realize, right? That this team is on the pathway of going the way up. The draft was A+. The undrafted rookie free agent class was A+. Coaching staff this offseason, I think that they rated them as an A, flat out A or B+, somewhere along those lines for your mind. I love it. This is a new philosophy, a new role, a new groove. And I just think that this team is heading in the right direction. Now, if you have a different opinion or thought track, post it down below. Let me know where you guys are from as well. I'd love to know that. Post it down below if you feel otherwise. And if you want to sell the form of getting rid of a first and a third, post me your thoughts down below for Jamal. Or if you want to get rid of Michael Gallup, woo! If you want to get rid of Michael Gallup for Jamal Adams, let me know. Just think about how the Jets are going to run off with a first and a third. And they say, okay, here's the player for you. On top of that, he's a box guy that you're not going to play out in space. You shouldn't play out in space, although he can, but that's not his strong suit. And they get in return a first and a third and don't have to pay. They don't have to pay for the guy that they're going to get rid of. And they pick up a first, whereas whoever player that they pick up with that first round draft pick, they got 5 years to do the evaluation for their particular nation. It's robbery. And like I said, I think Tony Pollard was drafted in the 3rd round. I think that Michael Gallup himself was drafted in the 3rd round. That's crazy. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Let's go.